Viewers, the latest news about Ethiopia, Amhara, and Tigray region is that viewers, in this video I will inform you about three important updates from Ethiopia Tigray conflict. Viewers, the Ethiopian government has set out conditions for possible ceasefire talks with leaders of the Tigray People Liberation Front. Following days of international diplomatic efforts aimed at halting intensifying hostilities. US Foreign Minister spokesman Dina Mufti told reporters on Thursday that one of the conditions for possible talks, which he stressed have not been agreed to, would be for the Tigray People Liberation Front to withdraw from the Amhara and Afar region bordering Tigray. Whereas in order for there to be a peaceful solution, they say it takes two to tango. There are conditions. First, stop your attacks. Secondly, leave the area you have entered in Amhara and Afar region. Third, recognize the legitimacy of this government. Well, by the way, don't misunderstand. It's not being said a decision has been made to enter into negotiations. But on the other hand, Tigray People Liberation Front was ready for negotiation last month with some preconditions like all invading forces pulled out from Tigray territory and remove all the blockage on Tigray region, etc. But last month there was no response from Ethiopian government about ceasefire. And Tigray Defense Force and Oromo Liberation Army advancing towards Addis Ababa, and now Ethiopian government ready for ceasefire. Whereas Ethiopian government in this condition not want to pull out invading forces from Tigray, but want Tigray Defense Force pull out from Afar and Amhara region. Because the Tigray People Liberation Front is demanding the end of what the United Nations describe as de facto humanitarian blockage on Tigray, where hundreds of thousands of people are believed to be living in famine like conditions, and no aid has gone into Tigray by road since 18th October, and 364 trucks are stuck in the capital of Afar pending authorization from the authorities to proceed. And the United Nations also said on Thursday in a weekly report on the humanitarian situation, it is estimated that 80% of essential medications is no longer available in Tigray, while most health facilities are not functional due to damage and lack of supplies. And Tigray's biggest hospital, either referral hospital in the capital Mekelle, has been forced to close its cancer treatment program, leaving some 500 patients without treatment. Because according to a senior journalist, it is easy to forget just how critical the role of President Isaias Afwerki has been in the war on Tigray. And this is not surprising. He says nothing and allows no independent journalist to report from Eritrea. and we have little clear understanding of how many troops Eritrea has in the war, and only sad references to the deaths of young men and women in large numbers. Yet, his role has been critical, with Eritrean troops still holding large parts of Tigray's northern border and western Tigray along the border with Sudan. And there are some key points to remember. There was a lengthy build up to the Tigray war, which has been clearly documented as the relationship between President Isaias and Prime Minister Abe grew. President Isaias hated Tigray for years. His motivation is little understood but has been traced here. President Isaias laid out his war aims to his senior military leaders and political colleagues prior to the war, and he planned for a possible federation with Ethiopia. Ignoring this build up to the war and the Eritrean war aims secures the understanding of how and why the war began. Viewers, on the other hand, you know that, and I also informed you, in October, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed ordered an offensive against the Tigray Defense Force that control much part of the neighboring Amhara and Afar region. His aim was to force the insurgents into a final stand on their home turf and ultimately concluding a year long war that has claimed thousands of lives and uprooted more than 1.7 million people. Instead, the gambit appears to have backfired. Not only have Ethiopian troops failed to advance, but they have suffered a series of defeats that have left the capital Addis Ababa. We were an open to attack, forcing Abe to declare a state of emergency this week and call on residents to take up arms to defend the city. Even if Abe's military offensive had succeeded, he would have faced a major challenge in reintegrating Tigray and restoring a sense of national identity. Because now that he appears on the brink of failure. However, the Prime Minister has called into question his own capacity to govern and potentially the very existence of the Ethiopian state in its current form. And the political geographer Richard famously urged that the viability of any state depends on whether its centripetal forces outweigh centrifugal ones, and the former includes government efforts to build infrastructure, provide services, and strengthen borders, as well as efforts to persuade citizens to buy into the idea of the state. Whether by promoting a shared national culture, language, economy, or other unifying visions, and the latter includes large on unwieldy territory, weak infrastructure, lack of resources, and entrenched ethnic or social division. And a base fundamental challenge is that the centrifugal forces in Ethiopia have grown stronger than the centripetal ones. In addition to Tigray, a number of other long running insurgencies and cycles of inter ethnic violence have persisted and, in some cases, intensified. And ethnic and regional tension have been further inflamed by the development of propaganda by all sides and by social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter that have facilitated the spread of hate speech and helped fuel atrocities. So viewers, so far the latest update. For more latest update, please subscribe channel. Thanks for watching.